right, well, if everybody's here, I do show 4:30, so I will open the meeting today, Budget Committee, July 6, 2026. Having opened the meeting, the first item on the agenda is citizens communication. Do we have any?
No, sir.
We have no one signed up, so we will close citizens communication. Next item of business is the meeting minutes to approve the minutes of June 1st, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, changes from the committee to those minutes? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark that unanimous. I understand we don't have any department transfers, is that correct?
Right.
Fantastic. We will close out department transfers. We'll move on then to our resolutions.
Mr. Chairman, before you get started, I didn't know if you wanted to introduce Ms. Webb to the group.
Oh. Shall I do it, or
I'll do it.
Jason, would you like to do your?
Sure, y'all. This is Dr. Lee Webb. She's the interim superintendent starting on July 15th. Many of you know her already, have interacted with her at some point or another, so she'll be here, obviously, for a good long while. She predates many of us. I think she started with the district in
2004.
2004, so thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You wait until after budget. Very good, thank you, Diane. Moving on then to our resolutions. First resolution up, Resolution 7-26-1, resolution authorizing the issuance, sale, and payment of not to exceed $17,850,000 of general obligation bonds of Williamson County, Tennessee, and providing for the levy of taxes for the payment of debt service on the bonds.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion, a second. I think everybody's familiar with this. This is our to-be-decided courthouse property. We've pushed this down a couple of times. I can report the courthouse committee has a recommendation that has come through. It was voted to approve the Hill property 14-2. We will see that coming through at the commission. This again is just for the issuance of bonds on property that could be something else. We've kicked this a few times, but we've voted it through on committee the last two, I think. Any questions from the committee about this? Hearing none, then I think we are ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Again. I think we've done it a few times. Resolution 7-26-3, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 capital project budget by $12,787,162. Revenues to come from county general fund balance.
So moved. Second.
Very good. Ms. Riley, you want to explain
Yes,
that?
thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you'll notice, there is an attachment to your resolution. There's an insert, I guess, to your packet. If you will notice under the information technology, so the description of the projects, the narrative is incorrect. When I was copying over to make the resolution, I just transposed from last year to this year. So the numbers are correct, and as you will see, will match your color-coded long sheet. It's just the verbiage, it's just that description. So dollars aren't changing, dollar amount, the total still is the exact amount that you all approved on your previous capital projects. And you can see that first column in green, it does match that number for general fund. So it's just the verbiage.
Okay. So we need an amendment to the motion just to approve the verbiage as shown on the proposed amendment. We get that motion made in a second.
Would you repeat the motion, please?
So the verbiage, which is on the proposed amendment to resolution 7-26-3, just corrects the language there in 51-760 from the last year's budget narrative to this year's budget. The color-coded sheet shows where those were approved by us previously. They're in the green column, 51-760. All right.
So moved.
Second. Very good. Any further discussion needed on that now that we see what the items are that we've approved already? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. All right. Next up, item 7-26.
Mr. Chairman, you
yes.
need approval of the resolution.
Oh, as amended, I apologize. Now having approved the amendment, Is there any further discussion on the resolution as a whole, as amended? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Resolution 7-26-4, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 capital project budget by $3,624,800, revenues to come from unappropriated solid waste sanitation fund balance.
So moved.
Second. Very good. Looks like we're getting roll-off trucks, leachate, skid steers. All these things previously approved. Any questions from the committee about this? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-5, resolution amending the 2026-27 capital projects budget and appropriating up to $2,655,000 for major corridor study projects and the purchase of new equipment, revenues to come from unappropriated highway fund balance.
So moved.
Very good. See, we've got Eddie here. Any questions about this? Looks like we're buying dump trucks, salt sheds, corridor study on roundabout. Any questions? No questions from the committee? Think we're ready to vote? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution, excuse me, resolution 7-26-6. Resolution appropriating $5,500,000 education privilege tax funds and approving the related operating transfers for the 2026-27 rural debt service expenditures.
So moved.
Second. Very good. Excuse me. So this is taking educational privilege taxes, moving it towards debt payments. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-7, resolution appropriating $5 million adequate school facility privilege tax funds and approving the related operating transfers for 2026-27 general debt service expenditures.
Move for approval.
Second. Same thing here. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-8, resolution appropriating $5,893,850 education impact fee funds and approving the related operating transfers for the 2026-27 general and rural debt service expenditures.
Move for approval.
Second. Any questions on this from the committee? Again, just moving the educational impact fee. Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-9, resolution of the intent to fund certain county general projects totaling $6,240,000 in a 2026-2027 bond or note issue.
Move for approval.
Second. Very good. Looks like these are some things that we'd approved previously. Fire service support, ladder trucks, station construction out at Triune. I know we've got Connor here, and a couple of sports expenditures. Mr. Mayor, do you have any questions on others, Connor? Hey.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, commissioners. So yes, this ladder truck is, we did intentionally make the language flexible so that if the need changed during the planning process, and of course it'll take us probably 3 years to get this truck, depending on new construction, we could assign it where needed. The projected need is likely to be in Triune, where we do see the massive development and 3-story structures going in. And then same for the $500,000 for station design. That also is intended at this point to be for the Triune Emergency Services Station, for which we have land, but the next step would be to do a design for a future station.
Question.
Do we have a contract with him yet signed?
With the sewer purveyor, is that what you're asking about?
No, the fire captain.
Oh, with Arrington Fire for their current station, for Station 19? No, they have not yet signed their lease for the station they're in today.
And then is there a question about, are we waiting on sewer in Triune still, or?
We are, so the sewer plant that's going in, we've been in talks with that company, and they've given us verbal assurance that they believe they can fit this station on their sewer plan. they're not doing written letters at this point. They have to work through a few steps with the state to be able to issue actual sewer letters. So we do not have that in hand. There is currently a 3-bedroom septic system on the property from the old home that was there. So in a worst case scenario, we could revert to 3 bedrooms, utilize that system until sewer did become available, at which point we could potentially add on to the building. So in a worst case scenario, we'd be relying again on septic. Although we do believe that the sewer solution will be there. And again, this would just be the design phase, wouldn't be committing to actual construction.
And then I think Gordon Hampton.
Yeah, thank you for recognizing me, Mr. Chair. Connor,
You may have to come to the mic.
If you get up close to the mic.
I just want to make sure that in regard to the sewer system they're planning there, that it also will include the property to be developed at the same time where we're going to create some kind of a pocket park. So do you know if the volume is including more?
If you've been previously approved, they did on the front end approve some properties to get in, properties that they had purchased as part of the initial development. So if you were already approved, that is included in their calculations.
We'll need to check on that because Kevin's not here, neither is Mike Madison. So we just need to make a note to make sure that when we're in that planning stage that we are creating capacity for whatever because the park that's currently the home to the Triune Riding Club is there. And it's right next to where the fire station's going. So that total combined property is going to be close to about 12 acres. So we were planning on designing the fire station and the park at the same time. And so it's just important to make sure that doesn't get left out.
So, Mr. Chairman, can I follow up?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Gordon, for that information. The $500,000 is for specifically what?
That is to do the design for the future station. So we would come back to this body next year to ask for construction funding, which would obviously be much, much more.
Do we need the fire chief to sign off before or are we doing the work?
I would say that that's a separate issue in that this property will be owned by the county and we would not be writing a lease together for the two
All right.
joint facilities.
That's all
I
I
would say
need.
that's
All
handled
right, thank
separately.
Any other questions from the committee?
Mr. Chair, I will note that Connor and I, because the original question was deferring the allocation of the building fund until they got a letter from sewer. And he has been very cooperative in working with the sewer provider to get that. He relayed that, but I'm gonna say, we're very cooperative and I think we're committed to building the station once they can confirm sewer. It's good to know what Gordon said, because that's important to have that information as well.
Very good. Any other members of the committee? Any other commissioners? Yes? Oh, am I gonna have Commissioner Idbond up, or are you just pointing? Commissioner Herbert was pointing, but I couldn't tell if.
Are you on second? No, I was just harassing Jason.
You'll need to step up to the microphone to harass.
All of our harassment of Superintendent Golden will be done at the microphone. Very good. Hearing no other questions or comments, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-10, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-2027 Circuit Court Clerk's budget by $50,000, revenues to come from reserve account.
So moved. Second.
Very good. Looks like this is just from additional equipment. Any questions from the committee about this? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-11, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 Register of Deeds budget by $229,000, revenues to come from document recording fees.
So moved. Second.
Very good. I see we have Ms. Anderson here. Looks like this is just for part-time and equipment. Any questions from the committee about this? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-12, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 county clerk's budget by $10,000 for equipment, revenues to come from filing fees.
So moved. Second.
Very good. We've got Jeff here. If anybody has any questions, looks like this is just for title and registration. Hearing no questions from the committee, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-13, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 county clerk's budget by $50,000, revenues to come from reserve account.
Move for approval. Second.
Again, looks like the same thing from filing fees. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-14, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 Health Department budget by $15,000, revenues to come from State of Tennessee grant funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. Again, looks like these are state-approved funds, or state grant funds. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-15, resolution of accepting a generous donation from Franklin Tomorrow and Williamson Health and appropriating and amending the 2026-2027 Health Department budget by $8,000, revenues to come from donations.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. Again, this is more donations towards the Big Backpack giveaway. Looks like we received funds from Williamson Health, Franklin Tomorrow, Brenda Huey, Wellpoint, Brentwood Rotary, and St. Paul's Episcopal Church, so thanks to all of them. If there are no further questions or comments from the committee, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-16. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Agriculture on behalf of the Williamson County Animal Center and appropriating and amending the 2026-2027 center budget by $1,300, revenues to come from grant funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. Looks like this is a state grant for sterilization. Any questions from the committee? Sterilization of cats and dogs, that is. Thank you for the
Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying. If there are no further questions from the committee, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Resolution 7-26-17, resolution amending the 2026-2027 juvenile service budget in the amount of $192,000, revenues to come from state grant funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. Looks like for probation services and treatment. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-18, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 capital projects budget by $675,000 for the purchase of fire equipment, revenues to come from fire protection privilege tax funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. Privilege taxes here. Any questions from the committee on this? We'd approved these previously. Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-19, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 capital projects budget by $550,000 for the purchase of various parks and recreation equipment and flooring, revenues to come from recreation privilege tax funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Any questions from the committee? Gordon, I appreciate spelling out kind of where these things are going. Thank you very much for the clarity on that. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-20, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Disability and Aging on behalf of the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department and appropriating and amending the 2026-2027 budget by $10,000, revenues to come from grant funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. This is approval for a changing table with grant funds. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-21, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 general sessions mental health court budget by $166,721 revenues to come from grant funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. Looks like this has been approved previously, just needed to carry it over and appropriate this year. So any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're going to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-22, resolution amending the 2026-27 Williamson County Sheriff's Department budget by $397,466 revenues to come from grant funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. This looks like just a multi-year grant, just approving this year's part of it. Are there any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-23, resolution authorizing the transfer of a position and FY 2026-27 budget appropriations between the Finance Department and the Information Technology Department.
Move for approval. Second.
Phoebe can certainly explain this cleaner than I can, but I will try, which is to say that I understand that we're just moving the IT people over to the IT department. That will open up some additional room for them to be able to do some different things and have some additional security clearances. Also will allow to have some backup in place in case the person goes out, because they'll be in the IT department. So Phoebe, add to it and clarify, because
No, you are correct. This is just moving the ERP system admin that manages our accounting system into the IT department. We had already moved some things around this into IT a couple of years ago when we were trying to consolidate and take those individuals out of the individual departments. So this is just putting this over into the IT where it needs to be for continuity of operations.
any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-24, resolution appropriating and amending the 2026-27 County Commission budget by $100,000 to provide funding for expenses related to study and analyze future needs for adequate judicial facilities, revenues to come from unappropriated county general funds.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. This is just a rollover. We'd approved this last year. This is just moving this money into this year's budget. This is for the courthouse study. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-25, resolution to levy a $2 fee to be collected by the Register of Deeds office on all documents filed electronically through the Register of Deeds online filing portal.
Move for approval. Second.
Sherry's here to answer this if I botch it, but as I understand it, I know when I go in and record things in person, there's a $2 fee. My understanding is we've not been collecting that, or we
No,
haven't
it's a
collected.
total different fee.
Oh, this is
So
total,
we'll continue to collect, don't need to.
if you would.
So currently, we collect $2 on every document that's recorded that goes in the reserve that we function to take care of our computer system. This will be an additional $2 that will go on all documents that are recorded electronically. So right now, currently, it would probably bring about $65,000. But each year, more attorneys and stuff are signing on to the online, and the Register Association is also considering raising this additional amount. So this will all go to, where the $2 goes to a reserve account, this will go to the general fund.
Very good. Any questions from the committee about that?
Does require 2/3 vote on the commission.
Thanks, Sharon. If there are no further questions from the committee, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-26, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a contract with Franklin County, Tennessee on behalf of the Juvenile Court of Williamson County to house juveniles in the Williamson County Juvenile Detention Center.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. Looks like we're $200 a day on that. Any questions? We entered this with a couple of different counties. They don't have juvenile places of their own, so. If there are no further questions from the committee, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-27, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute memorandums of understanding concerning the provision of school resource officers.
Move for approval. Second.
This just allows us to put SROs into Franklin Special School District. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Marked unanimous. Resolution 7-26-28, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into an interlocal agreement with the city of Fairview, Tennessee for the performance of road work along a portion of Crow Cut Road.
Move for approval. Second.
Good.
I mean, interesting.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if you would.
So at the highway meeting the other day, Eddie indicated that there's a portion that's been annexed into Crow Cut Road. And so we're doing that pavement. They do not have a paving company. And so the law allows the cities to reimburse the cities through pavement. And that's what this is about.
Any questions from the committee on that? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-30, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to acquire real property located at 926 Columbia Avenue, Franklin, Tennessee, pursuant to the recommendation of the Courthouse Task Force and empowering the county mayor to execute all necessary transaction documents.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. I know that Commissioner Webb and I both serve on this committee, so we're pretty well aware of what this is. I don't know if we need further introduction. Does the committee understand this is for the acquisition of that property, what we've been calling the Hill property? The Courthouse Recommendation Committee was 14 for, 2 against. If that helps anybody understand where the commission's, where the Courthouse Task Force was on it. If there are no questions from the committee about this, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-31, resolution amending resolution number 6-18-26-5 relative to the appropriations to the 2026-27 adopted budget.
Move for approval. Second.
Maybe you could probably explain this better. All I can understand is that it looked like we had a calculation error on Excel as far as what carried through.
We did, yes, sir. So as you all remember, we had numerous amendments on the floor to our appropriations. In doing so, the individual lines that the commission approved were correct and accurate. However, when we were trying to total those, there was a number held in that formula, so it didn't quite foot or add all the way down properly. And so since we approved those by major category, and then by major category by fund, and then fund by total, that is why when I put those resolutions into our accounting system, you can see the number approved was just slightly off from what the actual corrected amount should be. Happily, I can say total county budget, all funds went slightly down. So by making the correction, we actually saved about $6,000 and some odd dollars, if that helps. But it is just a mathematical error trying to calculate those additions on the floor. This was the general fund was the only fund that was affected. This is just to let you all know. I will be presenting a book, a detailed book that will have the numbers and will reflect these new corrected numbers. I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of the changes and why those numbers may be different than what maybe you wrote down during the actual appropriation approval.
Makes sense to me. I'm just looking at the categories, just the numbers that I see. I see it going down. I think I see up 22,000 in other general government in rough numbers, 38,151 to 38,173. And then total general fund goes down about $6,000 more or less. So total general still comes down, and total all budget, those two numbers are about the same, 6,450 or whatever that is.
Yes, sir. That very first amendment on the floor was taken out. It was actually for your all's increase for your pay. It was taken out both places.
Got it.
And so when it was taken out in the first major category, and then it was also taken out under other general government, that's why there's a difference. It just held it in both places, so this is just correcting that.
Very good. Any other questions from the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. I just noticed there's a typo. The very last line under "and be it further resolved," the last sentence, reflecting the 26.27 at $1.30, it should say 26.27 tax rate at $1.30. If the clerk could add that in before the packet goes out.
Jeff, I assume that doesn't need any sort of functional, yeah, just a typo there. Very good. So with that corrected typo, are there any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-32, resolution requesting an intent to fund for $13,665,250 for the Williamson County Board of Education 2026-27 capital needs.
Move for approval.
Second. Very good. Jason, would you like to talk to us about this, or?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. This is our annual capital request. The items surround maintenance, flooring, electrical, safety, structural improvements, and repairs, plumbing, those kinds of things that we evaluate on an annual basis. I did want to let you all know that this is somewhere around $500,000 less than last year. So if you're looking from a debt service standpoint, this year will be a little bit lower than the previous year. Certainly open to any questions you may have. This is one that you have not looked at. The next two you had looked at a couple of months ago and deferred so that you could look at this in the aggregate. The aggregate total of these three resolutions are about $35 million. Last year, the total was about $40 million.
Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-33, resolution requesting an intent to fund in the amount of $15,893,000 for the Williamson County Board of Education. Should this be 25-26 or 26-27? It says 2025-2026 security network technology needs.
Mr. Chair, I think it probably should be 26, 27.
27? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It came 2 months ago.
Oh, okay, just,
Yeah.
that's why it's okay.
Yeah.
So do we leave the title the same, or do we amend it to 26-27?
It's 26.27, isn't it? In the heading.
It will be.
Yes.
So I will offer it as the 26-27 security network technology needs.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Just as a reminder, you all had approved this back in May. This includes year 3 of our access control projects for all our schools, and including replacing fobs in all the doors to allow for much better security, better access for us, for visitors, and for law enforcement and first responders. And that this is third of 3 years.
Right. Are there any questions from the committee? I know, we talked about the access, the fobs, and you can turn individual ones off and close their doors, and
That's correct.
that's very good.
I think they're turning my fob off in a couple of weeks.
Never. No further questions from the committee. I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark it unanimous. Resolution 7-26-34, resolution requesting an intent to fund in the amount of $5,508,000 for the Williamson County Board of Education 2025-2026 major asphalt and roof needs. Obviously, this will be the 2026-2027 roof and asphalt needs, so I will introduce it with the correct year.
Move for approval.
Second. Very good. Jason, where are we paving?
Mr. Chair, we have a number of paving projects that ranges from Spring Station to Fairview Middle to Brentwood High, Knowlesville High, some rehab on some of the turf, Grassland Elementary, Allendale Elementary, and Well, that's pretty much it on the paving projects.
Any questions from the committee on any of these? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
School board vote was 11-4, 1 absent.
Resolution 7-26-35, resolution of the governing body of Williamson County, Tennessee, authorizing the issuance, sale, and payment of interest-bearing 2026-27 general purpose school fund tax anticipation notes not to exceed $13 million.
Move for approval. Second.
Very good. Phoebe can explain it better, but this is just a funding mechanism for us. Tax revenues don't tend to come in until December, sometime after October, when the tax bills come out, so we usually borrow this from fund balance.
We will do this from fund balance of the general fund over to the GPS fund. This is just a cash flow for those first 6 months before the revenues come in.
Are there any questions from the committee about this? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'll mark that unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, just for your information, the clerk is also updating resolutions 33 and 34 in the now therefore be it resolved, which has the May date, and it'll be the July 14th date. And then on your very last page, it looks like that date was left off for the last sentence, duly passed and approved. This should say 14th day of July as well.
Very good. If there is no further business to come before this committee,
You got your late file.
I feel, is Commissioner Petty here?
Forget it.
I'm certainly comfortable. There is a resolution that'll be coming for us on the floor, but I'll let Commissioner Petty discuss it, and I feel comfortable with it now, given the revised contract that I've now seen with our state lobbyist. So if there's no further
Mr. Chair,
business.
may I also do
Yes.
the late file that I'd like to add for the library, please?
Yes,
For that
please.
position.
Absolutely.
So if I may, I do not have a resolution at this time, but I will have one filed for a late file. If you all will recall, part of the appropriations, you all have approved new positions not to begin until January 1. So we have had, in the library department, we have a maintenance of effort that we are required to maintain each year. Theirs is based on actual expenses. Some of those, depending on what fund it is, the maintenance of effort is based on the county's contribution for funding in the budget. Theirs is actually on expense, what is expensed through the year. So they have had someone retire that is a longtime employee that has a substantial amount of accruals. So they will be leaving, which provides some excess in their budget. So we have two options. I would like to file a late file with your approval. If I could go ahead and have that new position to start July 15th, I guess, since it's already part of July, starting July 15th, so that we can utilize those excess funds. If we do not do that to capture those funds, then we will actually have to do a resolution returning some of those budgeted funds in the library back into fund balance. So in order to not have to return money back into general fund, I would like to request, with your permission, to go ahead and just let them start that new position early, and that will absorb that excess funds for those couple of months, and they can proceed.
And this is because the library has that maintenance of effort.
Correct. This is the only reason why I'm doing it, is the maintenance of effort. If not, then I have to turn the money back in. And I would hate to do that when they have a position that has already been approved. It's just a matter of, do they start mid to end of July or January?
And that's just because we put, the freeze on all new hires to January
Correct.
1.
Because we have a hiring freeze, yes, sir. So there's no new additional money. This is just absorbing some of that excess so that we don't have to turn it back in at the end of the year.
We don't have a resolution before us, so I don't know, but if there are any questions from the committee for Ms. Riley, I'm sure she's happy to answer. But that makes sense to me. I would hope that you would get that, and I'm sure either myself or Commissioner Webb might be able to get that resolution presented.
Thank you. I will
Is
get
he
that
also
written.
making the motion? Is he also making the motion to recommend approval?
Can we recommend approval on something we don't have in writing?
I thought we'd have to have a.
I will fix it for you, don't worry.
I think we do a late file.
If I can just get approval to file that late file.
Yes.
Yes. Let's, all those in favor of allowing Ms. Riley to late file that proposed resolution, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that file. All right, if there is no.
Mr. Chairman, I've got two things. One is sheriff needs to be aware of the Commissioner Bill Petty's resolution that is coming forth. You need to read all of that because it still requires no automatic renewal or administration renewal on all lobbying. So you might want to remember that. I still am opposed to this. I think it's the county commission trying to tell the administrative, the other elected officials, who they can hire and who they can't hire, Mr. Chairman, to get that into the minutes. I think it's a bad, you're allowing the camel to get his nose up under the tent when we've already, at the last commission, we reached out to our lobbyists and said, these are the things they want. We've already signed it, it's in place, and he has a contract. So, I think it's the county commission trying to tell the other elected officials who they can hire for legal services, and that's a bad precedent.
I certainly don't disagree and believe and hope, and certainly any support that I have for it is with the idea that we certainly want our lobbyists to be reporting to us and coming to give us reports that has been solved contractually, and so any chance we can solve a problem by contract instead of by resolution, I'm for solving by contract. So, but thank you.
And the other thing we need to point out with the actions that you took tonight, the total bond that we're going to market for in the fall will be almost $95 million. 69, 69.
It would be actually a total of 164.9,
Yep. So
and that is 164.
So it's it's the largest bond we've ever issued in the history of the county. But that is the schools, all the projects that the commission has approved at this point, and then 95 million, that's where I was getting the 95.
I say it's 95 million for Triple J.
Just for Triple J,
Yes,
we
just
gotta
for
have
Triple
it to keep the project going, so, very substantial coming up, if everything's approved as you voted tonight. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Are we sure? I'm not going to try this 3 times. I came up with something myself. He came up with one. All right, I believe there is no further business for this committee, so we are adjourned.